Are you ready to record,
I don't know
Petey?
did we even sound check anybody?
We're good.
Well, we can't hear him.
Petey's been doing that for the past like 5 minutes.
If he's gonna say anything.
Tap the window
Yeah.
once for yes.
He's flashing the lights.
He's flashing the lights.
We're good.
So is it
Is that a good
two
thing or-
flashes means yes or one flash means no?
All right. We're good? We go?
Cool, yeah, let's
going.
go. Let's do this.
Man. All right.
You got to look at the lights in the back.
All right, they're
That's
off.
how you'll know.
There's a lot of people in the room right now.
I don't know what that means. Like, lights are off means go. Like,
Action.
Depends on the situation.
Oh God.
well, guys, thanks for coming out.
Anytime.
Thanks for coming out. Like, we are Opinioneers. My name is Danny. We have
Jason.
Ann.
Colt.
And then for you all, go ahead and introduce yourselves.
Richard.
Tommy.
Mr. Panda Mike.
And what's your guys' show?
Just
Not
Talk
everybody wants to.
podcast.
The Just Talk Podcast.
Just Talk Podcast.
Well, that's cool, guys. We were really excited. Rich, was it Rich who? Yeah, it was a long time ago, dude. Like a year and a half.
Yeah, it was.
A year and a half ago, Rich was probably one of the only people when we first started the being heavily more present on Instagram.
Right.
Whenever I would ask a question to our audience, Rich was like almost like always bam, 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 bam. I was always getting an answer from him. Like, oh, this guy he actually has some good input. Because some people are like, who do you want to do this? And they're like, there's only one Batman for me, and that's Adam West. And then that's not Rich. Rich would be
I
like,
like your voice.
Everyone sounds like that already.
yeah, there's only one Batman for me. And it's like, okay, dude, like I'm just saying, like which one was like it? It was like one that resounded with you the best. There's only one, and they just kept going. That Rich was like, listen, man, I like this for this. I like this for this. I like this for this. I'm like, this guy's smart. I like this guy. So that's why. So that's where we first met. Was me and Rich on Instagram.
That's where it
Because
started.
these motherfuckers never go on Instagram, hardly ever.
No chance. Not even my own. It's like doesn't happen.
What's the point of having it?
It's
Exactly.
there.
It's like when you call someone, like, why do you have a phone? We'll do text. And they're like, oh, damn it. Well, but if you don't answer your text,
Yep.
That's true.
right?
That's true.
Like some people I know.
And then they go, I'm busy.
All right, I'm good.
Right, but that's it. Motherfucker has a watch. I know you read that shit. You know why? Because I have a watch,
Yeah.
and I know how it works. And I know.
It's because I'm always driving when you text me.
Okay.
And then I thought about it before.
Insane.
What?
I thought about it like, oh, if I use that excuse, it's going to be like, well, just dictate it to Siri. And I've thought about it, but I'm like, but then I have to stop my podcast. It's going to like...
Also, Siri sometimes is kind of an idiot.
Oh yeah, dude.
No, don't talk
wanna
shit
do
about
what?
Siri.
Sorry.
Send text to who?
Are you sending it to the wrong person?
Yeah, exactly. So I think it would be good for the audiences on our show and your show, because this can go on both channels, to hear a little bit about each of us, so the people on our show know about you, and vice versa. So how about
stop?
Oh yeah. So let's go like every other person. Yeah, how's that sound? Yeah. Okay, so Rich, go ahead and kick it off. Yeah, you're starting it off.
You don't have to.
What?
You kick it off. Like,
Hot seat.
how'd you get into podcasts? Because now you're in one. Nerd culture, whatever culture you like, pop culture, nerd, whatever.
Let's see.
Whatever
Well,
you
actually,
do.
piggybacking off of your what you were talking about earlier, I remember I was on iTunes. And I used to just listen to podcasts during college, and it was one of those things where I was just like, oh, this podcast, you know, they'll give you like recommendations for other podcasts too.
Yeah.
And I saw Opinioneering.
Ooh.
You guys had this very fucking cool artwork.
Yeah.
And I'm just like,
Made by Jason
Is
himself.
that? Bravo.
Hey, thanks, guys. Thanks.
We're in the middle of rebranding right now,
Okay,
so
okay.
yeah,
Okay.
sorry, but
rebranding all you want, but that artwork, it just spoke to me, and I was just like, holy shit! And I looked, and you got like fucking controllers, video games, movies, and I'm like,
Is that a robot?
okay.
Yeah, there's a robot. I never
They
forget the
called me
robot.
To Opinioneering, I'm like, that's fucking genius. Clicked on it. You guys had a few episodes there. Listened to pretty much all of them at that time, I believe. I forget how many episodes you guys had at the time, but I was just like,
Oh
cool.
man, did you think we were funny? Like I've never talked to anybody who just found it on their own. You know what I mean? I've only talked to people who I've like been like, hey, please listen to this.
Right.
it's because you're never on our social media platforms.
Right. Fair enough.
No, I think the fact that you guys, in a sense, kind of like us, you guys had your own different opinions. I thought that was perfect. And yes, you guys are funny. I love the banter. I think if anything, the thing that sets everyone apart for every other podcast is everyone's dynamic with each other. You guys had that special dynamic that you three have.
Yeah.
Nice.
And so again, I was just like, this is perfect. Then you guys had your Instagram, and that's when I started following. I'm like, sweet, another podcast I can listen to. Because I have all these other long listed podcasts like IGN, Beyond, freaking Gamescast, kind of funny, everyone. And I started following you guys. I was like, I like these guys. These guys are good. These guys are really cool.
They have good
And then,
opinions.
yeah, like,
And they're in the
you
AV?
said, I started like commenting on your guys'
Sticks.
page, and that was that. That was that. Let's see how I got into nerd culture. I think from the very beginning, when I was a kid, I loved drawing, and I went to an art school,
Which one?
the Art Institute.
Ooh.
Not a good school, but they're actually like, well, I
Wait a
don't know
second.
if they're still operating, but I know the one in. It was called the Art Institute of California, Los Angeles, but it was located in Santa Monica. It's so fucking weird because there's one in L.A., but it was called Hollywood. The one in North Hollywood was called North Hollywood. I was like, this is confusing.
Yeah, right.
They were a good school. Not anymore, I guess. I have no idea. But I used to love drawing, and I watched a lot of 90s show, like the X-Men. Let's see.
Oh, like the.
Oh, yeah. That one.
Doesn't know that. We should all do it once.
Okay, Jason, ready? Third harmony, go!
Sound clip here. Batman animated series, Superman animated series.
I just watched that this morning with my kid.
Nice.
There you go.
Nice.
Raising your kid, right? Yeah, dude. And so I watched all of those, and superheroes is one of those things that's always just been, I don't know, like I just gravitated towards to,
Yeah.
and ever since then, when did I get my first PlayStation?
Ooh, here we go.
I like how a lot of people in this room was like,
Together.
yeah, it's just like losing your V card.
Yeah.
When did you get your first PlayStation?
Yeah, I want to say I was 9. I think it came out
Earlier
if I
than me,
remember- If I
that's for
remember
sure.
correctly, I think PlayStation, the first one, came out 96, maybe.
Jay's our resident
I don't
PlayStation
know.
expert.
That sounds right to me.
Right, 96.
Without, like,
I know
Googling
98
it.
was
So you were,
already
what,
out.
25?
Whoops.
Okay, so I am probably the oldest guy here, but even then, you're at bastard. I think I was in like 6th or 7th grade. I don't know.
Okay.
I think we're all about the same age. We're all kind of in the same mindset.
Oh, we're gonna say age right
Yeah.
now? Like
We
in a
might.
row?
So go ahead.
Yeah,
We're,
I'm
we're-
30.
You're okay.
Yeah.
I'm 30.
I'm 30, about to be 35.
Oh, dude, I'm only 28.
I'm like 12.
Are you for reals?
What?
Are you for reals?
Yes.
You're only 28.
You guys co-host a show together.
28, dude.
I thought he was. I thought you guys were in the same
I'm 28,
graduating
dude.
class.
Wow, I feel so young here. Work,
No,
I
we
feel
met
so
at Pokemon,
old.
dude.
Oh,
Jason, go ahead and share it. Yeah. Tommy shared his age. He's gonna be 35.
oh yeah. I just turned 36.
Wow.
Same. You know what? What's scary about that is because you're from the AV. We probably know. Like,
Probably.
something you brag about.
You dated who?
It's like, oh, you played sports? Oh, shit.
You were at what party at what time with who?
Right? Wait, you were at that party too?
You were that son of a bitch that did what?
Those
You were
apartments
with
on
that girl as
Gadsden.
well?
What?
Remember that motherfucker got shot? That was on Gadsden.
Or it could be the other way around. Oh, so you're the jock that was just an asshole.
Yeah.
I remember
Yeah.
you.
That was
That's why
more
it's
me.
so important to be nice to everyone. You don't know.
You never know.
So yeah, actually 94. I just looked it up. So 96, I believe, is when I first got it. And I got into games right away. And I think ever since then, I was just like, cool. I love video games and I love nerd culture and all this other stuff. And then let's see.
And then I got beat up at school for the first time.
Well, the thing is that I was like I guess you can say like a hybrid.
Yeah.
So I played a lot of sports. My
okay.
parents pushed me to play sports and like go to fucking piano classes and all this shit. Like they wanted me to do everything.
Right.
And then at the same time, I want to be home and play this fucking Star Ocean.
Yeah.
Second story.
Dude, did you play that? Dude, Star Ocean Second Story was badass.
Oh, man. We are in the right room. That's all I gotta say.
Thank you, Jason. Thank you.
I'm out. Yeah, right.
Yeah, I would just play that the whole time, and Final Fantasy VII and all that other cool ass games. And from that point, it was just it just took off from there. I was just like, cool here. I want to do film. Or in high school, I met some friends that loves film. That's how I got into like film, movies, and all that stuff, TV shows. I remember one of my teachers watched Smallville.
There you go.
Oh yeah, hell yeah.
He's the
Oh
one who
yeah.
got me into
Somebody
Smallville.
say.
Oh, man.
And my dad's he's a huge Superman fan, which is why I'm kind of.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, Superman shirt on.
Boom.
Yeah.
And also, my
I was like, why is he walking in here with a zipped up sweatshirt so he can pull a fucking
why.
Clark Kent? That's why.
He pulls out a phone booth. He's like, 1 second, guys.
He pulls out.
Be right back.
That's my favorite superhero ever, right there.
Is Flash?
Oh, yeah.
Barry or Wally?
Wally.
Ooh, okay.
Ooh.
We actually just talked about
Justice
that.
League, the Justice League animated show was Wally West. That's
Yeah,
how I grew up.
exactly. Same here. We actually, that's in one of our episodes. Jason was all like, is everyone else sick and tired of Barry?
It's all about Barry now. Ever since he came back.
Yeah,
It's
screw
all
Barry.
Barry. Even the fucking movie's Barry, but then that's like a hybrid of all Flashes, which is like whatever.
Barry West. I'm not
Yeah.
gonna start on.
Very
Barry West.
Let's see.
Wait,
so-
Barry West? No.
I
No.
thought it was a singer for some reason. Like, is that Barry? Is that a real name?
No, what was there's
Barry
Barry
Allen?
Allen and Bert. Bert Allen is his grandson.
Bart.
Bart. Bert. That's the Simpsons.
That's a Simpsons.
nice.
Bert. Bart. Whatever. He's from the future, right? That's Impulse.
Yeah.
Okay. He just came into the comic books here like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, 'cause
Oh,
they-
yeah.
They killed Wally 2 weeks ago.
Spoiler.
Yeah. For a comic that came out.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, just,
Heroes in Crisis came out like 3 months ago, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dun dun dun. Ooh, that's one thing we have to talk about.
Ooh.
Okay, this is a cool thing. We'll go on to the next one because you guys did a Just Talk podcast and with the Opinioneering, so we like do nerd culture. You guys do nerd culture too. So we're trying to do like a hybrid of like we used to do the bunny trails. But Jason and I were one of the ones that, like, when we were listening back to the episodes, like, man, I kind of want to just stay on that one topic. But this is probably cool because we can go on a little bit of bunny trails because we're with the Just Talk podcast. So
But also too, like, I want to know what you guys have to say. Like, there's times like
That's a good- yeah,
I'm
that's
listening
pretty
and I'm
good.
like, hey, I want to be in the same fucking room as those guys.
and
Be like,
listening to the podcast,
what do you
I was
got?
like, I love
Right.
these guys. These guys are awesome. There's an Instagram page. I can put my input.
And I remember for us when we did that like video chat, I was like,
Yeah, that's right.
who's this
Collab,
dude?
yeah.
Oh my
Couple
god!
months
And
ago.
Oh,
these
yeah,
two
yeah,
other
yeah,
guys.
yeah,
We're at the.
we're at Horizon Comics.
Yes.
Yeah, we're at
Oh,
Horizon
right.
Comics, and I went live.
Yeah.
And then they wanted to do a split screen, so we did a split screen with them.
That's
and
cool.
then yeah.
We just got done doing an episode that day too.
Yeah.
When-
Yeah.
yeah.
And I remember Tommy asked me a question. I was like, damn, dude, that's a fucking deep question. Kind of a thing. It wasn't deep like, can God make a rock so heavy he can't lift? It wasn't like that deep. But it was like deep as in like in lore. You asked me something about Superman. I was like, damn, dude, not many people know that.
He
I
was
would
like,
have to
can
say
Superman create a rock so big?
so that's cool. So okay, go ahead and finish yours and then we'll
let's
go on.
see. And that's pretty much it. College, went to school for AI, did my got my media arts and animation there.
Oh, nice.
Visual effects and worked on some pretty dope ass movies. I remember when I worked on Man of Steel, so that was like a huge accomplishment for me. Worked on Avengers 2. That was awesome. And then just got burned out by the industry and left.
Oh wow.
Whoa.
yeah.
Wait, so what is it you did on the films?
I was doing a 3D conversion. So
Oh.
every time anyone watches a movie in 3D and you have to put those glasses,
Right.
those,
Oh.
the 3D effects, that's what we did. We had to convert the 2D, just regular film into 3D.
So
Well, that
half your
sounds
day is your
cool.
computer fucking rendering?
Well, there's the render farm, so you send like all your.
Oh, so you
yeah.
send your shit away and they just render it for you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So it's pretty dope.
damn.
You just work on your shots and all that stuff.
Wow, you
Which is
walked
why
away
I
from it? You didn't
sound-
like it?
What's that?
You didn't like it? You walked away
It's
from it?
not that. It was more so. It was taking away from my social life. Like there was one time.
Okay.
You don't need that.
You worked on Man of Steel, bro. Screw your friends.
Right. Not a lot of people have social life anyway,
That's
so
fair,
it's
fair.
it's
Coming from Colton, who doesn't go on social media.
right. Exactly.
Right, Mike?
Yeah, there was a few instances where I worked for almost 2 months with no days off. And which
Those
is where-
100
See, hey, that was
hours
it. When you were
we
away,
were
when
talking
you were
about.
away, we were saying, "Hey, dude, on our episode, Jason's been wanting to talk about multiple topics, separating the art from an artist and worshiping at the throne of the crunch."
Yeah.
So yeah,
When,
so
when you said that earlier, I'm like, I know exactly. How to
so we can talk about that a little bit later.
Yeah,
on.
yeah,
So-
for sure. That sounds
we did
good.
that, and it was just one of those things where I was working average of 12-hour days every day and no days off, and it was just
Yeah.
Shoot me at that point.
And even if I wanted to hang out with friends, you're like, I just want to go home and sleep.
Yeah, right.
Or just, let's go out for a drink. Have a drink at home.
Rain check.
Myself to sleep.
Yeah, right?
So did anyone like also try and like milk you for information? That was really weird and graphic, but yeah.
What movie is that? Jim Carrey. And he was just doing this.
Ace Ventura.
Was it-
Yeah, I think it's Ace
Yeah.
Ventura.
Okay.
That or
That's the thing
Predator.
There's a lot of.
I think of
I'm
you know
thinking of remember the Fockers. Like,
Yeah.
I got,
nipples.
Oh, yeah.
Greg, can you milk me?
you milk me, fucker.
Yeah.
What do you got?
He's like, you can milk anything with nipples, Greg.
I got nipples, Greg. You milk me?
As far as milking me for information, no, not really. Besides family, they're like, "What are you working on?" I'll be like, "All right, since you're family."
Yeah, right.
That's what I'm working on. Other than that,
Sign this
not
NDA really quick. Just-
Yeah, exactly.
Since most of my
Mom, Dad,
friends-
can you sign NDAs real quick? Thank you.
Since most of my friends were in the industry also, it was one of those things where like we knew what not to say and what to say, and so like I remember when Captain America was the first one, the code name for it was Freezer Bird.
Freezer
So every
bird.
time, like,
Oh,
funny.
because he's kept in
That's
ice.
funny.
Yep. Freezer Burn was the code name for Captain America.
Capsicle.
I think even when they were they were
Capsicle.
filming too, and so when my friends worked on that movie, and I remember I was jealous. It's like, fuck. Like, yeah, we're working on Freezer Burn.
Wink, wink.
Wink, wink.
So, okay.
Wink,
yeah,
wink.
So there's code names, and we all know what it is. And yeah, after that, I left the industry because I was just like, look, I got tired. I got burned out, you know.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much it. I'm trying to get back into gaming now. Kind of fell off of comic books. Actually, Tommy's the one who introduced me to comic books heavily. He was the one.
Yes, you. He's talking about you.
At
Don't
the
turn
time, He
around.
was dating my cousin.
Oh.
Let's take a sip of some.
That's a great topic.
So
good.
Before my very first comic book, and I was like, I want to mention this, and I have it framed up in my room. I was about to say episodes. Issue 185 of The Flash, and it was when the Thinker, I think.
So
came,
were you all about like season 4 of Flash? Okay.
It's okay. It's okay. And Jeff Johns was actually writing it, and that's how I fell in love with him too. That was actually my very first comic book, and it was one of those things where I would buy issues here and there. But then Tommy, when I moved over here, he was the one who really got me into it, and he introduced me to Civil War. And after that, it was just like,
Civil War's pretty
I'll
good.
spend like fucking $50 every week on comic books and shit.
Now, do you still read Marvel?
Yeah, I mean, like,
Really?
once in a while.
He's got a
It's
brain,
been
dude. No, he
while.
doesn't.
It's been a while.
I'm just
It's been a
curious
while.
because it's been bad for a very long time.
Really?
Oh yeah.
It's one of those things where I'm just catching up on the events from like years ago. So just by the
Like
Then you're
Secret
probably
Wars.
good. Have you gotten a like Age of Ultron? Because after that's when everything's really started going.
Oh, that was
downhill.
bad. Yeah, that
Went
was real
downhill
bad.
pretty quick
That was really
for the
bad.
past like 6 years.
Yeah.
It's been pretty bad. I mean, we've had like
That's a
7
long time.
resets.
Right, yeah.
Ugh.
I feel like that's how it is now, right?
Reset, get rid of it. It's not good.
Right. It's like, well, that
Just
sucked. So
Yeah.
just let's redo it.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, why did I spend my money then?
Cool. Okay. Well,
Yeah,
let's.
that's
Thanks, Rich.
Yeah, thank you.
Richie Rich. And the Funky Bunch. That's Marky.
Yeah, it's Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch, dude. Don't diss Marky
Let's
Mark.
go across. Jay,
Feel the
how about you do
vibration.
yours? Because you're always last whenever we do our crossovers with other people and we do
Oh.
like the intros. You're always last. So how about you go first this time?
Hot seat.
I know. I'm always last, I think, because it feels so
And you've done
awkward,
this enough times. You should like could be like a script.
But it could change. Like I feel like we've also introduced ourselves a lot of times. Where, like,
Right.
It's like, oh
At
man,
this
what did I
point,
say
I'm
last
gonna
time?
find like a new twist. I'm like, oh, last time,
Yeah.
no one knows this yet.
A listener's like, that's not what Jason said last time. He's lying.
He's a lying son of a bitch.
Just to make you feel better, man. There's been some times on the podcast where I've been like, "Whoa, where did you come up with that, man?"
the mind blown.
So yeah,
Man, I don't know. Let me
Have
think.
him around.
in a good way.
Yeah, that could have been bad. Like,
You're like,
"Whoa,
this asshole.
Or like he's been smoking too much.
what a chump!
I can't believe he said that.
Let's see.
Nightwing's the best.
So,
Well, fuck you, bro.
just by way of introduction, man, I think when it comes to like nerd culture, kind of like the same as what Rich was saying, you know, that similar, probably like the big, what I'm trying to think of, the Gateway Drug. The Gateway Drug for all of that definitely was like the old school 90s animated series of you know, Batman for sure, X-Men, Spider-Man.
Oh yeah.
So like I was really into those, and then that got me into comics and Spider-Man. Speaking of Spider-Man, like I have a love-hate relationship with him because like right around then in the 90s, they came out with the Clone Wars, Clone Saga, and then that just like made me kind of hate Peter Parker and like Marvel. And, but anyways, so yeah, I'm still like pretty much a lifelong, like my favorite, you know, DC characters or anybody in the Batman world.
Tell me one time you like Plastic Man too.
No, dude. Actually, I have really strong
Kyle likes
opinions.
Plastic Man.
Nice.
I have really strong opinions that certain characters that are the products of
weed.
exactly smoking weed of that era, like belong in that era. Like I don't care how hard you try, you're never gonna make Hawkman legit cool. Like he's always gonna look kind of like a poser. Like he's like in bondage gear, like with a hawk mask on.
Have you seen that thing where they talk about all the 70s costumes? Are like, all right, who's watching a lot of S&M? Like, what's going on
like,
here,
you know,
man?
someone's like super kinky. Like the artist is like, check this out, dude.
right.
Like,
Did you guys watch that movie about like how Wonder Woman got made?
I heard that they made a movie where it's like some dude who is like into some kinky shit. Like,
Yeah, no, like quite literally, like it wasn't like they made a movie like it was nonfiction. No, it was like based off of the
Right,
actual
I remember,
guy who
yeah,
made it,
Uh-huh.
and that's why he made him like such a dominating character because he was into that. So
Cut to now, how she's so prevalent. Huh. Okay.
So
no, I
let's
remember
see.
one time you were like, dude, I don't care how, and I'm gonna throw you under the bus right now
Okay.
because so many
Oh,
people
no.
are like, this movie's amazing. And you're like, dude, you can never, how hard you try, can make Aquaman badass because he was made during World War II where they couldn't find nukes under the fucking ocean. So like, let's make a dude that could talk to dolphins. Go find the nuke, Sparky. You might have been drunk that night. You went on a rant, and you're like, whale. Go find submarine whale.
It's true, man.
So good.
World War II, like, you can't. Sorry.
Oh man. Yeah. So all right. So I don't want to go too far. Video games. Yeah, I'm like OG. Like I had the NES set like with the Duck Hunt and Super Mario cartridge.
Dude, I still have that.
I still have my
I
Duck
still
Hunt.
have it.
Yeah, I got my Duck Hunt, dude.
Dude,
For the longest time, I still didn't know how it worked. I was amazed that we have the Wii and shit with like.
and that had shitty.
It sucks. You can't control anything with your hand. You're like, I'm trying to get to the fucking start menu.
But the original Duck Hunt, dude,
It's
did it
on
well.
point. It was like nothing, just a fucking CRT and a glass thing on the end of your gun. It's like, and it fucking works. Like, how does it know? How does it know?
So were you one of those that was all the way away, or did you get right up to the
No.
screen?
No,
Hey,
you were good.
I was a marksman, all right? But I'm just saying, they can make shit like that back in that far or whatever age or whoever the fuck.
I want to know.
But then today, it's like the Wii with like technology, you don't even have to be near the TV and it knows what you're doing. I'm like, no, it doesn't, dude. Wii fucking tennis was hard. I could never do it.
We've never talked about it, but you strike me as a Time Crisis fan.
Dude, Time Crisis was sick.
Yes. Right here.
Dude,
Right here, dude.
Time Crisis
Yes,
and
agree.
House of the Dead
Yes.
were the two
Yeah.
sickest games. I would
On
spend.
Dreamcast.
I would spend. Well, no, I'd be in the arcade.
Yeah.
All day,
I'd
man.
be in the
Arcade,
arcade.
dude.
Yeah.
Come on, we're all from the AV.
go.
Everyone was at Mr. C's, yo.
Yeah.
Dude, we would spend.
What was it?
Sorry.
Court Nichols? No, what was that place
Sorry.
on K and Challenger? Nichols,
know.
Dimes.
Oh, they did
Nice.
make like a nickel place at some point.
Dude, I'm thinking the
Yeah.
mall, man. What do you
Oh,
think?
yeah.
Oh, the mall.
The
Oh,
one
that's right.
Right
the
by the
mall.
right by the entrance.
Yes.
Yeah, dude. I would go in.
What do you got?
We'd go in there with like a pile of quarters and just be like,
Wait,
we're
wait,
not
hold on.
leaving until
I got
we win.
next. Let's put that quarter right there.
Yeah.
Right.
Dude, Sebastian and I got
Just
so good on Time Crisis. What was the one where you had to? The guy had like shooting off a rocket, and you had to be. You were in a train in one level.
I don't know. 2 was a really popular one for a long
I
time.
think it was Time Crisis 2.
And then 4, I never even see 3, but 4 was really
I know
popular
they
for a
all
long
go
time
all the way
too.
up to 5, and I'm
I
still
think it
Yeah.
was 2. Sebastian and I got so good that we beat it in $1. And it
Nice,
was
dude.
50 bucks a turn.
Also, Metal Slug,
50 bucks,
dude.
50
Metal
cents.
Slug in the arcades.
Metal Slug.
Oh, Metal Slug was
my
good.
Those were
Yeah.
good, man.
So, anyways, going back to Cold.
Yeah.
Jason.
I'm here.
How are you?
So yeah, games. So I went from NES as a kid to everybody knows the Super Nintendo versus Sega Genesis Wars, but I ended up Sonic pushed me onto Team Sega.
Dude.
Wow.
So
Sonic
yeah.
was the shit, dude. Sonic
That's
2,
interesting to hear.
Sonic and Knuckles,
So-
Sonic Adventures.
That was
like-
a really hard game, though, man.
Yeah.
Surprisingly, like after you're just like, wow, this
Dude,
is
the Lion
fucking
King.
hard.
The Lion King was the hardest game on Sega to date.
Really?
It is. Have you never played it?
I thought Aladdin was. Did you
Aladdin?
play
Aladdin's also
Aladdin's
very hard.
fucking hard, man.
Dude, I'm telling
like,
you though.
Super
you
Nintendo
will-
Aladdin, I loved.
Never
The
played. I
Sega
never
one is
played it.
totally different.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
the Sega one was actually like hand-drawn pixels and shit. It like is so gorgeous. Like I have like Petey actually made for me this little like Raspberry Pi emulator, and so over Thanksgiving we went on like a little family vacation, and I hooked up my emulator to the TV, and at night I was like on Aladdin and all like throwback games, you know.
Dude.
It's like so pretty to this day because like old school. Okay, so we're talking about PS1. Graphics wise, those early polygons look like shit. You know what I mean? Like it's almost unplayable. But all that old school pixel stuff really holds
Looks
up
good.
well.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
Dude, Jurassic Park was also a pain in the ass.
Jurassic Park.
Never
Oh
played
my
it.
god! I have a friend who has a joke where he's like, "Yeah, we were playing Jurassic Park, and like the first couple levels, there's no freaking dinosaurs.
Yeah.
It's just like you're just trying to make it through just whatever. There's no dinosaurs. You're just trying to get to the level." And their cousin would come home every day. Their uncle would come home and be like, "Hey, did you guys make it to the dinosaurs yet?" And he goes, "And we never fucking did." so now it's a joke constantly. No matter what game we're playing, I'm like, "Oh, dude, did you actually make it to the dinosaurs?" I'm like, no, you never make it to the dinosaurs, bro. It's just too hard.
Jurassic Park Sega, the one where he plays Alan.
Yeah, he plays Alan,
Where
right?
you get to the very end and there's just two raptors sitting there. Do you know how long it fucking took me to figure out how to beat those two things? And then finally when I did, I'm like, yes!
Yeah.
There's nobody here!
Yeah, dude, it was crazy.
No one can see me
man.
be amazing. So what about today? Fast forward.
Fast forward.
You're a daddy?
Yeah.
Hey.
So like with that, trying to get like now. Both of my kids, so we ended up buying a Nintendo Switch.
Nice.
Because those little Joy controllers are like so tiny
Yep.
that they're perfect for little hands.
Wow, I was gonna say they suck, but yeah, continue.
I mean, for
Being
like
cold.
little kid hands, they're great. So like we play Mario Party's a big hit in our
Yeah.
house. But then we played through all of the Kingdom Hearts series.
Wow.
So
You
that
are an
was cool.
amazing dad. That's all I have to say.
So that was cool. And then this, past week or so, we've been starting on Kingdom Hearts 3. So that was like a big event in our house. Like, oh, okay, my kids aren't saying "oh fuck," but
Daddy.
That would be dope as hell, man. You just walk in like, fucking Sora!
yeah. So So still a gamer, still into the Batman crew. Even though Batman's not necessarily my favorite out of that, I'm really more into Nightwing. And then what else?
Seal of approval.
It's really funny that like a couple weeks ago, went to go see Dragon Ball Super at the theater,
Damn,
and I'm
dude.
like,
I wanted
dude,
to go
it's
see
like
it so
a
bad.
billion years later, and I'm still
Dude,
watching Dragon Ball.
It was
so.
good too. I'd love to talk about it later, but yeah.
Yeah. So
I
that's
liked
me in a nutshell.
Cool. So let's
I'm
head
gonna
over
hand
to
the mic because I don't,
Why?
Because usually I'm the one that like goes next, and I don't want to
Well,
leave
good.
you out.
Go next.
It's the same thing with like
No,
James.
I'll go last.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. Mr. James. I mean,
go
Mr. Panda Mike.
Mr. Tommy,
Mr. Panda Mike.
you can go
Oh
ahead.
gosh.
Go ahead, dude.
I'm gonna push this away.
fine. Just go that way. So go ahead.
Mike's gonna go.
Okay,
No,
go ahead,
he's
Mike.
looking at you.
Oh my gosh.
We
Rock,
do this
paper,
a lot.
scissors, go.
Ooh,
Dude,
rock,
One
paper,
and done.
just one and done.
One and done.
Wait,
That was a weird
No,
one.
that was
Dude,
horrible.
I'll go
on
next.
three. On three. Okay, whatever.
So
I chose rock.
Tommy B, AV local, I guess. I don't know. Came
Yeah.
back after.
I don't know.
Basically, first things first. I'm so happy to be in this room.
Oh, thank
It's
you.
like I feel like I'm with my kin. I don't know if you guys know that. Like, as soon as like something pops up, I'm like, yeah, you guys agree. You know what's going on. Mostly, somebody be like, what are you talking about? What's
Right,
going
yeah.
on?
Right.
So
Did you just look at the camera?
I did actually.
Because there's people in there that don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
No. They're like, who are these people? What else? Been a nerd for a very long time. I don't even know if that's a derogatory term anymore.
Yeah, no. And that pisses me
You
off.
know, like
Like, it was a rite of passage as a child.
Right?
I got my ass kicked. I was going to say reamed. That was not good. I got my ass kicked so many times and made fun of. And now it's like, you're a nerd. Put glasses on, nerd. Come on. I'm like, oh, man. No.
Dude, at least you didn't have to wear glasses. I actually wore them.
I'm just saying it was a rite of passage as a kid. And that's why, like, I love it so much more. But now it's, like, culturally accepted, which is a
Yeah.
good thing.
Right.
But it's also, like,
But also, too, the definition of a nerd is kind of evolved. You know, like now you have like hybrids or whatever that like they play sports, but they also like comic books. I'm like, wait a minute, if you like Marvel comics, where were you Wednesday nights when they?
Oh man,
right?
dude.
If I didn't see you, you weren't fucking part of the whatever it was.
Right, yeah.
So,
It's all
Let's
part of
just
the
change it, man.
revenge,
Let's be
guys.
geeks
Come on.
instead.
yeah.
Revenge of the
Geeks
Nerds.
and nerds, dude. We'll just change it, man.
Geeks, nerds, dweebs.
There you go, dude. That's all of it.
So what was the one that kicked it off?
Kicked it off. Oh man, it goes all the way back to Spider-Man for me. Spider-Man. The funny thing about that is all the comic book characters. I feel like Spider-Man truly embodies like a nerd. He was the one that was like the Poindexter or whatever, fell in love with Mary Jane and did all that kinds of stuff. So you think about that, he got superpowers. Great power comes great responsibility. I always kind of gravitated towards that. I was like, yes, he's actually got the soul of a nerd, but at the same time, like he's kind of figured himself out through these powers.
Yeah.
So that was a big one for me. And then after that, just kind of showed everybody. I was like, hey, have you read comic books? Have you checked this shit out? This is kind of cool. Branched off to Cartoon Network. Like I said, I don't know where you guys were, but I remember the very first time that Goku went Super Saiyan.
Dude, I would know exactly where it was. I will never forget that moment. Dude, my TV was hung in the corner of my room. I was in my room on my bed. I ran downstairs and told my brother, and he's like, I don't care. And I ran upstairs, and I was like, this is insane. It finally happened.
Yeah. So that just kind of let off a chain of stuff. And now, I mean, it's funny how anything that you're really passionate about, they're like, oh, you're passionate about it. You're not a nerd, which is kind of weird. So, but having conversations with you guys is like the best thing for me.
Cool, man.
Sharing those like moments and being like, hey, you know what I have going through or what I've like experienced or like, you know, like you said, Star Ocean. It's like, I've been there. Chrono Trigger. Yes.
Yeah.
Chrono Trigger.
Oh yeah.
What is Star Ocean? Real quick, sidebar.
It's another series, RPG series. So there's like
RPG or JRPG?
JRPG, but you know, there's like
We just went through it.
I know. I heard.
Okay.
Nice.
And it was actually, I was like, holy shit, that's stuff I didn't even think about.
Like everyone knows the Final Fantasies, Dragon Quest. Another pretty big one that goes back pretty far is Star Ocean. And so on PS1, Star Ocean Second Story came out, and I think it was on like 2 or 3 discs. And it
Holy
was
shit.
like
3.
Was it 3? Yeah.
It was 3.
And it was like one of the things that they're
Red
big
Dead
on
2
is
at
that
the
there's
time
like
or something?
you go around and you like meet new people. So whereas like something like Kingdom Hearts, you have like your party set. You're always gonna have Donald Goofy no matter what. But in Star Ocean, you have to like meet people and get them to join your party.
Oh, that sounds
so you're
dope.
not necessarily always gonna have the same characters. And there's multiple endings, so everyone kind of has their own experience based on what their decisions
Sounds
were.
very Knights of the Old Republic-y. Almost like Knights of the Old Republic stole a lot of that. 'Cause
Oh,
that's how
really?
that game went pretty. Yeah, I mean, you could do 6 variations of your team. You didn't have to have any of the people you wanted.
Oh, okay.
At least
Yeah.
the first
I
one.
played
I
Knights.
didn't play the second one.
I played Knights 1 and 2 heavily. Sebastian got me into it.
Yeah,
because
it's
of-
like a similar concept.
I guess in a way, it's kind of also like Mass Effect, where
Yeah.
you can kind of pick and choose who your teammates are. You can like leave off this person or not recruit this person. So
Or
it's
go do a
much
mission
like
for
that.
somebody and not do it.
I
Up
read
to you.
books like that. Pick your own story.
We're doing it right now too. It's called Dungeons and Dragons. Okay, so fast forward to today. That was like the origin story of Tommy. What about today? What is
Today?
nerd, being a nerd, geek, dweeb, whatever? What does it look like in your life today?
It's everything, man. Like everything that you kind of put your like mind to, you get really fascinated with. That's what it's about. And some of the stuff.
Or passionate.
Yeah, I see, but that's the thing. Like passion's thrown around. It's like, well, I mean, you can be passionate about stuff, but I feel like nerds take it to another level.
Yeah.
Where you get really embedded into it that it becomes a part of your life,
Yeah, when it gets to a point like if you don't have it in your life,
Yeah.
it's void.
or you seek it out.
Yeah.
You know, you're like, hey, just. Have you guys played that game, or what's going on? You'll actively try to find somebody that
Yeah.
has the commonality that you do.
Yeah,
So
that's cool.
next,
Dude,
Dude, I thought I was going last.
You want me to go next? I'll go
Yeah,
next.
dude, do it.
Okay.
I want to hear the Danny story all over again.
So what are you talking?
Dude, if you better tell the Jurassic Park thing.
Ooh.
What was the dress? Oh.
Did you hit the dinosaurs?
Yeah.
Thanks, dude.
Okay. So I think my love for nerd culture stemmed from my brother, who was very heavily into comic books, and it was one of the things like I can't think back and remember like pinpoint when it comes to comic books. Pinpoint like it was this. I just remember like a mosaic kind of a time that like all these things at the same exact time was I was all about that, which it was just like Rich's, you know, like the animated series of Batman, Spider-Man, X-Men, and I remember so we didn't growing up have a TV in our house because we did have a TV, we just didn't have cable. We had a TV and a VHS. And my mom didn't let us watch anything with color in it because it was from the devil. I grew up on, I grew up on like old school Hollywood, like black and white. If it was black and white, it was good. So
Nice.
like old school actors, and like I'm really heavily involved in not heavily involved. I'm really into like the golden age of Hollywood.
That's awesome.
So
That's cool, though,
how it got
man.
started, and that's where like film was like, okay, that's where I got introduced to film, and then comic books when I would go to my grandma's house in Tijuana. She had cable, so I watched the shit. Like I'd wake up earlier.
all in Spanish.
No, it wasn't on Spanish because Tijuana's right next to San Diego, bro. We get the
Oh,
same
did you
exact
get the
chance.
San Diego
Hell yeah! We got those bunny ears.
We were
and
caught
everything.
watching color though. We get beat with a wooden spoon.
No, it was a. I'm not
where
gonna say
you
anything because. So I would watch X-Men and stuff there, and then my brother took it off, and he wanted to get into comic books, so he did too. And I would kind of steal his comic books, and he always got mad at me because we shared a bedroom and yada 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 yada. But that was comic books, and I've always loved them since that time. And I took a little bit of break from. A big chunk of my life, I took a break of comics, but I always enjoyed them until Jason told me, read this story, and then ever since then, it got me back in was Batman Court of Owls, and that got me back into comics hardcore. So that's why I owe a lot to Scott Snyder. I don't agree with a lot of things that he's doing now, but I still enjoy him as a story writer. I love him as a person. Like I follow him on Twitter and Instagram, so I see his life, and I'm like, okay, I like this guy. When it comes to film, which is like a huge part of my life, the very first movie my dad took me to go watch was Jurassic Park. I was 5 years old. We sat in the back, and I remember like the shoe toss scene, shoe toss, and everything at the very beginning, and that just changed my life.
Nice.
And so that's what stirred movies and nerd culture, movies and comic books was a big thing to me. Later on, music. My mom made me play piano and stuff like that, so I got into music. Video games. We didn't have our first system was NES, but we barely played it. Like we were only allowed to play 20 minutes every 2 days.
Because it was in color, right?
Yeah, because it was in color. and Bowser was a demon. So
Wow, dude.
yeah. So if we got
made a Game Boy Color, I didn't know that.
But you could play a Game Boy Advance.
yeah, exactly. So
Pocket.
there was a break, and then finally, my parents allowed us when we got older to get a Nintendo 64, and so we got back into gaming that way. And then I went to Xbox, and then I saw the light, and I went to PlayStation. I was really having like right now, my video game habits are mostly. Overwatch, FIFA. I'm not really into like hardcore games. I love games with stories, so like Uncharted, and I like Kingdom Hearts. And I'm playing through the Kingdom Hearts with my son right now, because Part 3 was coming out. And it really sucks. I haven't touched Part 3 yet because he made me promise not to play it until me and him got done with Part 2. He's only 5 years old. And he's like, no, dad, we can't. Promise me. So I'm like, son of a bitch. And so he keeps getting in trouble, so we can't play. So I'm like,
man.
kid, I'm gonna choose the lowest save slot, so you don't see that. I'm playing.
Time for bed.
Time for bed,
Dad's 4
kiddos.
o'clock. Time for bed.
But so I ended up, that was comic books and video games, but then movies. Movies has always been my life. Like Jason once told me that he's like, dude, you have something when it comes to movies. It's almost on an autistic level. Like you hear something, you hear a sound, and it reminds you of a line of a movie. Or if you hear a director, you can name like 4 or 5 movies that they made with people that are in it. So there's like a game like 5 Ways to Kevin Bacon.
Nice.
But my friends and I, they used to try and test me, so they'd give me 2 actors or 2 people in the industry, and they say that, how fast can you get like Richard Dreyfuss and Dustin Hoffman, and I would have to get away from one to the other one.
Right.
And okay, so this person directed this movie, who directed this person, and I would have to do that. Nowadays, I have kids, so my brain is not as sharp, but movies have been very, 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 very integrated into who I am. I love what they depict humanity at a time. So you watch movies back in the 1950s, and yeah, you're going to see some misogynistic and even some racial things, but that depicted us, and we can see where we came from, and we can say, hey, that wasn't good back then. Look how far we've come since then. Right. But there are also some movies that are just absolutely gorgeous and beautiful, and the storytelling and the acting back then, to me, is way better than it was nowadays because of the technology and editing. Back then, they used to do scenes that were 7-8 minutes and never cut. And so the acting was always on point. So Movies
No
is
way,
very.
dude. I want to see Liam Neeson jumping over a fence and have like 15 cuts.
We don't talk about we don't talk about Liam Neeson anymore because of what happened this past week. But no, that's Tommy Cruise, and then he shatters his ankle in Fallout. Remember? The newest Mission Impossible. Remember? You're like, you know why? That's Tom fucking Cruise. Jason has a huge man crush on Tom Cruise. Like,
Dude,
huge man crush on
like
Tom
Him
Cruise.
and Keanu Reeves.
really?
Keanu.
Wow, really?
Those two.
Oh,
yeah.
Jason loves Tom Cruise.
No, but also he's like all for it.
What?
Dude, Tom Cruise?
Yeah.
Wow.
Dude, he's
Dude, just when you think you know someone.
I was gonna say movies. Like,
Yeah.
Name a bad Tom Cruise movie. Can't.
yeah.
Yeah, you
He's like
can.
Every Mission Impossible after the first one.
You don't like those?
No.
Really?
Terrible.
Hey, hold on.
See, all right, Dan,
Hold on.
let's see
Hold
what
on. Let me ask a question. There's 5 of them, 6 of them now.
You see, you don't even know.
No, there's 6 of them because I forgot to.
too
you
many.
forgot.
Fallout.
There was too many.
There
oh
were 6.
shit.
Listen, hold on. After part 1, how many did you watch?
Like 2 of them.
Exactly.
question.
So
He
just
gave
say
up.
I've watched half, and I'd say I don't like it.
Why would I finish the other half if it's trash? They
How
really
many
gonna
times
fix
have
it?
you? And you guys are listening to our podcast. How many times have I said, if the foundation is shit, don't keep going? But he's like, you gotta have faith, man. You gotta keep going. You gotta see all the way to the end of the story.
I went 3 movies.
Sounds like our
and I was
podcast.
like, I
Sorry, dude.
went 3 movies
Lawyer.
and said, you know what? I'm done.
Wrong.
They're just like cash
Wrong.
grabs, dude, and you're
was about
giving
to
them the
say that
cash,
too,
bro.
guys.
That's
You're
my-
handing it over.
That's my Trump. Wrong. Fake
No,
news.
it's more like wrong.
Wrong.
Mission
So anyways, that was
Impossible
me. So
is
heavily
great.
into comic books and movies, and so if I have to go, favorite comic book characters probably Nightwing as well, Batman, Superman, top 3. I loved Jonathan, Superman's son, until Brian Michael Bendis came on the scene, and I wanted to fucking punch him in the face. But after that, probably my favorite movie of all time has to probably be, and everyone's like, the fuck? But Singing in the Rain.
Wow.
Yeah, so
I for some reason I pictured you a Gene Kelly fan. As soon as you said black and white,
Yeah.
I don't know what it was.
Yeah, I love
That
Gene
dude
Kelly.
Was one of the most athletic actors
Oh,
I've
hell
ever
yeah.
seen in my life.
yeah, he'd put
dude.
Tom Cruise to shame.
Oh, dude. There's a scene. I don't know what this. You probably know the movie. Like
Yeah.
he's like doing like push-ups or something along a stage, and like all these ladies are lifting up their legs, and he's going underneath all of them, like doing push-ups and stuff.
That was probably. It
What is
wasn't
that?
singing. It wasn't.
Definitely wasn't singing.
It's not singing. It was probably not Sid Charisse. That was Fred Astaire. I have to think about it because I have whiskey in my system, so it takes me a little
No
more time.
worries.
But I'll think about it.
Gene Kelly for me
And
is like
Coke.
the closest person to like a modern day Hugh Jackman.
Yeah, Hugh
Only thing.
Hugh Jackman is up there. Yeah, and I do something cool. Like I try and take old movies and try to recast them nowadays. So I do that all the time, and yeah.
You know who's got the chops also too, but he's kind of like in that weird kind of like teen girly thing is Zac Efron.
Yeah, you know what? Here's the thing. I love Zac Efron outside of High School Musical.
Right, exactly.
Like
yeah.
I
But
actually
see, the thing
enjoy
is,
Zac
he can
Efron.
actually sing. That's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah, he's
I'm
not
like,
bad.
actually, wow, all right. That's
Yeah, he's not bad. I loved him in Baywatch. I think
Yeah.
it was hilarious in Baywatch.
You did a great job.
It was awesome in Neighbors.
Yeah.
But all yeah, but so yeah, so Taron Egerton.
Yes.
he's also a good one. He's one up there that for me like a
he should have been
Han.
Han Solo. in
How
my
do
opinion.
you feel about Baby Goose?
Baby Goose.
Ryan Gosling.
Oh, Ryan Gosling is
I thought you were
oh
gonna
ever
say,
since
who's the other guy that got cast as Goose's son? That one guy. What's his
Oh.
I thought that's who you meant, who Baby Goose.
No, well, because like Gosling is like the word that you use for like a baby goose.
Yeah.
And he was in La La Land.
that's the thing. La La Land to me blew my mind because it was a callback to the old 1950s.
And they did a great job.
Yeah, and it's probably up there in my top 3 favorite movies of all time.
City of Stars.
Yeah, there you go. And so it's like Singing in the Rain, Jurassic Park, probably
It's
La
a
La
great
Land.
date movie, man. I was single at the time. I brought that.
He's like, I took myself on a date and I loved it. So.
I held my own hand.
Magic will happen.
So yeah, that's me. So movies, comic books, and a little bit of video games, but more so movies more than anything in the structure of them. So yeah.
One last question. I could IMDb this otherwise, but
Aw, man,
it has
I'm
nothing to
whiskey.
do with nothing. I just couldn't remember his
Nothing
name.
to do with nothing.
It really doesn't.
Nice.
That's a movie, nothing to do with them.
do with nothing.
Ooh, who played Atticus Finch?
Gregory Peck.
Oh, that's his name. All right, cool.
His son's in the new Star Wars.
Forget.
Star
I
Trek.
can't even.
Oh, really?
I
Star Trek,
I
the show,
that.
Yeah.
Discovery.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the other thing. I can't do a shout out without my dad
Ethan-
grew me
Ethan
up on Star Trek, the original.
Nice.
So I'm huge Trekker, hardcore.
Nice.
People say Trekkie and I say fuck you. No, it's Trekker. Actually, that's the proper term. But yeah, I'm a huge Trekker.
Nice.
Yeah. So that was me. Banner Mike.
Hello, everybody.
Hi.
Hello. How you doing?
Hot seat. Whew. Let's see. So everything mostly started for me. I was a little bit younger. Wow, there's a lot of eyes on me right now.
Look away.
Smokes.
I'm gonna turn the other
Anyway.
direction.
We can look away. That's fine. Oh,
No,
look at
no,
my
no.
phone.
No, anyways.
I just don't want to be disengaged.
Mostly all started for me was Star Wars.
Oh, really?
Huge Star Wars guy. I was
I won't
actually just.
call it against you.
Yeah. No, I mean, that's why.
I'm just joking. No, I do enjoy Star Wars as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not one of those guys.
The originals.
4, 5, and 6, or 1, 2, and 3.
4, 5, and 6.
So, it's funny because
How many engines are on a Death Star?
What? That's a good question. Is it 2?
No.
There's 3 big ones, and then you probably have I think it's 2 on the top, 2 on the bottom. I think so. Maybe 12.
No, it's 5. 3 big ones
Yeah, I
and
was
then 2
gonna
and
say
2. I won that.
I knew
in
the 3 big
tournament.
ones.
Yeah, the 3 big ones,
That's
and
a
then
good
there's
one,
2 little
man.
ones. Yeah.
I was like, isn't it
Yeah.
2?
That's why I always ask someone that's like, I'm a Star Wars fan. How many? And
I
you're the
think they
closest though,
think they
because
say
no
it.
one says the 3 main ones. People
Yeah.
are just like, 5.
Well, I think they
You don't
even
give me any
say it at
structure.
one point when something's wrong with it in one of the original movies, and he's like, "What's wrong with it? How many inches down?" And then somebody says like all 5 or something like that or some shit. Somebody says something.
Yeah.
When
I
they're
just
on that
counted.
one-
I just looked with my own fucking eyes.
No, I know. But when they're on the planet, when the giant worm, they're inside the worm. They say something about how many the engines and how many they got.
Oh, that's part 6. Yeah. Oh, sorry. Keep going.
I don't know, totally cool. So yeah, mine was always Star Wars. So I actually just had a conversation with one of my managers at where I work about Star Wars and everything, and we just got into it. And just
Like in a
started-
bad way or in a good
No,
way?
in a good way. Like
okay.
talking about like
I was like,
Solo.
don't you dare talk to Han about that one.
Yeah. Talking about like Solo, like what we liked about it. What about the newer ones? Like, did we really like them? Did we not like them? He's a big fan of like Rogue One and Solo. And I was like, isn't it kind of funny with those two? Like, there was no Jedis in them whatsoever, and they were like really good. He's like,
Well,
yeah.
in Rogue One, there was somebody who was like a half Jedi. He was like trained.
His
to be
name
a
was
Jedi.
Donnie Yen.
He was
Yeah.
trained
Fucking
to be
amazingest man alive today.
I had an entire discussion. I was like, why is he not a fucking Jedi? Like, you put Anakin and this dude's like, I'm one with the Force. The Force is with me. And he's
Yeah.
walking through shit.
Well, yeah.
There's your Jedi.
Well, he was. He used to guard the crystals. Was his whole job.
Yeah.
Not Meridian.
I want more of him. I was like, give me an origin
Like
He
the,
was
the
badass.
Jedi crystals, how they make the
How they make
For
the
the
sabers.
lightsabers.
Yeah,
Fucking
he was the
Hitman,
guard.
right
on
there.
that one
Hitman. Oh yeah.
Yeah, he was a badass.
Oh yeah. You know
he
who?
was
You know who trained Bruce Lee? Donnie Yen. Hitman.
in Ip Man, yeah.
Yeah.
Which those are all badass. But it
No,
was-
in real life, it wasn't an Hitman. That's actually a true story.
Yeah.
no, I know, but I mean the movies are badass.
Oh, the movies are great.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry. Keep going, Mike.
I watched one of those a couple years ago actually.
I started one again and I fell asleep. But again,
He fights Mike Tyson.
That was actually such a good fight scene.
that was actually pretty
It
good.
was so good.
Like, come at me,
So-
Ip Man.
But is he?
I'm gonna kick your fucking ass.
Oh man.
Let's go.
So it started with Star Wars.
Yeah, all started.
How,
with
how
Star
old were you
Wars.
when you first saw your first Star Wars?
Oh man. So my dad was in the military and he was in Korea, stationed in Korea, and over there they had VCR, VHSs.
Yeah.
Put a tape in and he just recorded it that way.
Oh, okay.
So I started out with 4 and 5. I never had 6. So when I found out there was 6,
sorry.
I was like, "There's episode 6? Like, where is it? Like, what happens?" Because obviously 5 ends, and you're like, "Great." So
How long did you think that they were like, oh, the Empire wins?
I don't know.
Wow.
I,
That's a mind fuck.
Yeah.
Empire wins.
Yeah. So I mean, there was a couple friends of mine in elementary school. I think it was towards late, maybe 4th, 5th grade.
They
maybe?
didn't spoil it for you, did they?
No, they
Oh,
didn't.
okay, good.
We actually all like hung out, and we actually had like the miniature Star Wars toys
No, okay.
for the micro machines, if you remember those.
Oh,
You know,
yeah.
those little fucking
Yeah.
little
Micro machines. dude.
figures, and then you have like these big ones, and you're like, okay. So that kind of all started out for me too, and then I started to get like the bases and shit,
Yeah.
Start playing with them,
It's like real life RTS.
Exactly. So there was also around that time, junior high school, Pokemon.
Oh yeah.
So I
dude.
know we can all agree on about Pokemon.
We were just talking about
Yeah.
those 2
Yeah.
episodes
Yeah,
ago.
yeah.
You're talking to 2 practically semi-pro Pokemon
Yeah.
players.
Yeah.
So I'm
And
nowhere
a
close.
registered Pokemon professor.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I was the better player though. Let's be honest.
You better than Professor Oak?
Yeah, actually I was. You know how I know that? Because Professor Oak didn't know there's a fucking TCG game. And I know the rulings on TCG.
That's funny.
When you guys
So-
play Smash Brothers, do you pick a Pokemon?
No, like Kirby.
I play Pokemon characters, yeah. As often as I can.
Jigglypuff?
No, but Jigglypuff's fun. But if I play a tournament, no chance.
Is it
I
because
don't
her
play
eyes are so
Jigglypuff.
big?
Huh?
Is it because her eyes are so big?
No, she's slow. I don't like slow characters.
He's trying to make a joke, and you're like getting all technical. Like, no, the frame rate for Jigglypuff is
I'm sorry.
5.32.
I play very competitively in tournaments, so I'm like really like, nah, dude. I take that shit serious. Do you hear me?
Heard
Get
my
a
voice.
tattoo Pokemon.
Like, what are you
Life
fucking?
right there.
What are you crazy?
So, what was your favorite Pokemon?
Because
Thinking of mine.
Rihanna just
Jigglypuff?
said that we just talked about it like 2 episodes ago. And I mean, I like them all. I don't like one particular one, but
Give us,
Wrong
a top,
answer.
give us a top
You're
3.
right. Wrong answer.
Okay, the ones that when I told you that, like, what's your favorite Pokemon? The first one that came to your brain.
it was like Charizard.
Okay, cool. That's probably
That's the first one that popped in my head.
It's an OG. Yeah, actually.
mine's Raichu.
Nice.
Scyther.
Ooh, nice.
Scyther.
Scyther's
I
so
remember
good.
that episode where they were just in the ninja gym. I forget
Yeah.
what episode.
Oh,
it was.
yeah.
Scyther's just fucking moving.
Nice,
yeah,
dude.
yeah, yeah.
I love all fast characters.
Are we all gonna say ours? Because I got 3 at the ready.
Yeah.
I got my top
Bing,
3,
bing,
dude. Mew, Eevee, and Railu.
He's a Mew,
Mew,
Mewtwo, and Mew3 when he comes out.
See, I want somebody to be like Snorlax all day. Like, pick something
Dave.
that's like there.
No,
Really?
not Dave. There's a guy who also judges tournaments with me. His name's Joey.
Oh, yeah.
And remember?
Yeah.
He,
Joey.
his favorite
With the hair, right?
Yeah, with the hair.
color-
Yeah,
with the
he
hair.
colors his
He's
hair all
got the
time.
colored hair. That's why he colors
Yeah,
colors his hair.
for every tournament he colors his hair. His favorite is Snorlax.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or like a Psyduck or like a Mr.
Fine.
Meme or you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
something
Somebody,
that's
man.
There's
way
someone.
over
His
my
name's
head.
Leo.
I'll take meme.
Leo. Remember Leo? Leo's favorite was Torchic.
Torchic, right? Yeah.
Leo's favorite was Torchic. Yvonne's is Pikachu.
Yeah, see, Pikachu, I feel like is like,
That's like the
standard.
Pokemon Pikachu, right? But
Well, I
something
remember when I
that's
sold all my
random.
cards. Remember when I was selling my cards? And I was at
still
Frankenstein's
have
with my girlfriend, and I saw a big old Mew plushie. I was like, ooh, I'm nerdy enough to buy that. And she was like, you are not allowed to buy that. And I was like, I'm going to buy it. And she's like, well, if you make at least $100 off your cards, then you can buy it. I was like, oh, fucking easy. I came back with the Mew plushie, and she's like, how much did you make? And I was like, I don't know, like $200.
This was last week.
No, that was a couple years ago.
So, like, was it the Pokemon show or the cards?
It was kind of both. What was your guys' first card though that you guys ever got?
Charmander. Charmander.
Well, I opened a pack, so I got like a pack. But I remember my
got
first
a pack.
holographic was Blastoise.
Hold on, Colton. You sold all of your cards?
I still have a bunch.
That's a sin, man.
I was about to be like, wait, did anybody else catch that? I'm like, you
I
sold?
know, I heard
sold,
that.
Look,
I
I
heard
sold
that.
them all because of financial reasons.
Okay, fair.
and I moved to an area where it's completely dead. There's no game, no one plays out there. So I was like, what the fuck am I gonna do?
Right.
But I now have a pretty massive collection. I'm playing online TCG a lot now. So
Well, here's the thing. Remember when I said if it was in color, it was from the devil.
it's the devil.
I had all original 151, holographic, shadowless. The entire set right now is worth over 50 grand.
Do you? What
My mom made me cut them up with scissors and throw them away.
It is laying somewhere in the AV dump
And you know
yard.
why? You know why? It's because my father-in-law, who's my pastor, my father-in-law did a series on Pokemon way back in the day. Now I tell him like, dude, he's my father-in-law. Now I'm like, dude, you owe me like 50 grand. He's like, nope, nope. I don't owe you jack diddly squat. I made a huge mistake way back in the day, but
What's that saying? Like, oh yeah, I used to be a millionaire before my parents made me cut up my collection.
yep.
Throw away my collection.
That's a saying.
Yeah, man.
Okay. What
My,
were you gonna say?
my church did the same thing. So
Oh
don't worry
yeah,
about it.
yeah. My father-in-law now he's like, yeah, I was stupid, but it was funny. It was funny how how my mom. So I told my father-in-law now, like, dude, you owe me like 50 grand.
I think I like heartbroke just a little bit, just being like,
You should have seen me that night.
Yeah, dude. Were you
I could have had
She made me cut my own. Yeah, she made me cut my own.
Fuck, dude.
She made me cut my own cards.
Is there any value in that? Like, I know
so
somebody like,
brutal.
but I learned a lot. Like, I learned, like, don't
No
cut the
chance. No chance,
No.
dude.
Yeah,
Not
I feel like
really.
there's no, like, oh,
Yeah.
it's a good life lesson.
Yeah.
No way,
Yeah,
dude.
it was a good life lesson. Don't be. And Jason's probably the only one that would actually know this term. Don't be so pietistic.
Pietistic.
But yeah,
You probably got the Charizard, and you were just like,
no, it was Raichu, dude. My holographic Raichu.
oh yeah,
Because I remember I saved up. I mowed lawns and saved up to buy that thing for $45,
dear
and
Lord.
I had to cut it up.
So, like, did you buy them under the radar before she found out? Like, how did you get to the point where you had this
Yeah, that's a good
complete
question.
set?
It was my mom and dad had a disagreement on whether I should have them or not, and then they're like, okay, until we have a verdict, you can go ahead and collect them all. And then I collected them all, and then the verdict came down.
Judgment Day.
Judgment Day.
What was the
Judgment Day.
verdict?
Dun,
Did your
dun, dun.
dad lose out? How did that
Yeah,
happen?
he didn't
That
stand up.
sucks.
My dad didn't lose out. It was more of like
Sorry to pry. I'm just kind of
no,
like,
no,
I'm
no.
just
It
thinking
wasn't. It wasn't one of those things. I think it was. Nowadays, my dad laughs and my mom laughs too at it. Kind of. Not really.
Like, give me
But,
50,000, then I'll
yeah.
laugh.
Yeah.
I need 25 from you. 25 from you. We're good.
It wasn't like my dad caved. It was more like my dad agreed with her.
It's always that the wife is right.
Happy wife, happy life.
That's what I hear.
That's one of those scenarios,
That.
right? That's
the only thing I can possibly be like. The good news about that is you as a dad now are probably so understanding about anything
Right.
your kid collects.
Probably.
That was one of
Yeah.
those
That's the
times.
only thing I could be like.
Probably,
You're
I'll
gonna
get
be like,
that.
you want to collect bottle tops? You want to collect boogers? Let's go. Whatever.
Which one?
Literally because you're like, I had to cut out $50,000.
Yeah. Now that's one of those times where you're like, if I got a time machine, I ain't stopping Hitler, right? I ain't stopping slavery. I'm going back and getting my Pokemon collection.
All 151.
Why did I sound like Fat Albert?
Hey.
Hey! Pokemon cards, here I
That would be just like,
So, sorry, we keep cutting you off, Matt.
No,
Mike.
totally cool. I mean, conversations. That's
Yeah.
what happens.
Dude, just talk.
Yeah. Seriously.
Hey, so after Pokemon,
Kind of got into animated series with Spider-Man and X-Men. Obviously, when you guys did the song for it, it automatically popped in my head. The pictures.
and you see Wolverine go shing.
Well, yeah.
Dude, Drill Club. Marvel 2, baby. Let's go. Let's go.
So that's kind of where it started for me with that. Never really got into comic books. I know it's kind of not a good thing because that's all we all talk about. Sorry, I can go banish myself right now.
No, that's
right. They're in the cinema now,
Yeah.
apparently.
So
apparently.
I don't know if I was always like in the middle, like a hybrid, like Rion said earlier, like jock, but then I kind of want to be like the nerds. I was kind of like a free floater, like around junior high school.
Like a misfit.
Yeah,
You
almost.
didn't really
Yeah,
know where you fit in.
yeah.
I am not
You know.
just a miss.
I wanted to be a dentist.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you for knowing that, Renton.
I want to be a dentist. Oh, it's so funny. Side note: there was a guy that actually looked just like him that reminded me of him.
Oh,
Yeah, in real life. And I was
did
like,
did he come to your work?
No,
Oh.
I forget where I saw him or who or where, but yeah, I was like, do you know who you remind me of? They're like, who? I'm like, the kid from Frosty the Snowman.
That bitch in the that bitch in the Rudolph movie.
Yeah.
Oh
There you
God.
go, yeah. So, got into video games. My mom was actually, we got a Super Nintendo. And then my mom actually played it a few times.
Oh, nice.
So it was kind of neat. Obviously, Super Mario.
Nice.
That's where we all started, I
Yeah,
think,
yeah.
maybe.
Yeah.
Played some few other games there. Donkey Kong, stuff like that.
Dude, Donkey Kong Country, though?
Yeah. On the original Super NES. I played NES. Dunk Hunt, obviously. The Nintendo on there.
Mike Tyson's Punch-Out?
Never played it.
Wow.
Never played
Yikes.
it. Yeah,
That's
Dude,
sorry.
you gotta go play that.
You're like
So-
somewhat immortal if you get to like beating that. Like you're just like,
Dude, we would spend hours. There is a cheat code. And I also finally found out the trick to beating Tyson.
really?
Yeah, someone in the crowd does like a signal, like a camera flash, and that's when he's about to do his KO punch to
Wow.
just finish you.
Oh, dude, you got
And
way
that's when
farther
you,
than
that's
me,
when you
man.
noted that. Yeah, I figured that out.
You did, or did you hear it from someone
Me and my
else?
brother and his friend.
Was this the Game Shark?
It was no. It was just, dude. I just found my Game Shark actually. I just found my Game Shark.
Wow.
Yeah, in the garage. It's pretty beat up.
Yeah.
Some part doesn't work.
So what do you play now? If you're still in gaming?
I don't really play that often, which is kind of sad. Got really heavy into Assassin's Creed.
Okay.
How can you not? Just
can
all the
give
newer
you a few
ones kind of
reasons.
mess me up.
After part two.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
One
Ezio's
the
Brotherhood.
best.
Yeah, Ezio.
One and two
yeah.
are cool.
Ezio,
No,
okay.
what was the one I always forget? Revelations. I also really enjoyed Revelations. Actually,
I
know
like
that's-
Brotherhood. Brotherhood
That's a
was
very
good.
unpopular opinion, but I
yeah.
enjoyed Revelations.
Yeah.
I think the
So-
movie kind of fucks some shit up too, dude.
I didn't watch it.
I didn't watch it
Are
either.
you good?
No
You're not
chance.
like
Don't,
anything. Keep
don't
it
even
that
watch
way.
it. Just stay clear.
No thanks.
But I love Michael Fassbender.
Yeah, I guess we all do, but not in the movie.
He's fucking Magneto.
So, but started out with a PlayStation 2. I actually got from a gift from my one of my dad's ex-girlfriends, so it's just kind of weird. Don't go there. I know what you're thinking.
Hey!
But no, they were dating, and like she was like older and she had a kid and everything, and I was like, "You have a PS2?" She's like, "Yeah." She's like, "I don't really play it." And I'm like, "Why do you have it?" I'm like,
Yeah, which
the
turns
whole
into
point?
give it to me.
Exactly. Yes. So yeah, one Christmas she just like packed it up and just gave it to me as a gift.
Nice.
Yeah, and then had no memory card, which sucked.
Okay, so you're just like hardcore mode, dude.
Exactly.
Go all the way and that's it.
So played Metal Gear Solid 2: Sons of Liberty.
Nice. All right.
7.5 hours straight. No saving.
Oh man, what a challenge, dude! You're probably one of the only people who say you've done that.
Yeah, because that was not easy. And
No.
then we had lived kind of poor, maybe I guess you can say. So I had one TV, stuff like that, and one system. So I actually through I think 6.5 hours of playing or something like that. I told my sister, I was like, "Look, just wait. Do not touch the TV."
Oh man.
And I even told my grandma because she was at the house. I was like, "Do not touch the TV or turn it off." Okay, I've gotten this far in the game. I have no memory card to save it, so I don't want to replay it. And I was like, "I'm gonna go to Subway and go get some food."
Oh man.
So my sister drove me there, and it was literally down the street. So went down the street, picked up Subway, ate it real fast, and then came back to play the rest.
Nice.
So yeah, but Metal Gear Sons of Liberty. That's what I played on PlayStation. I saw the light at the end of the tunnel and got into Xbox.
Wow. Are you sure it wasn't one of those cartoon things where they drew the tunnel on the wall and you just splat right into it?
No.
That's probably what it was, man.
So I did the Roadrunner thing and went right through it. So.
Uh-huh.
And then got into Halo.
Halo was
Halo
fun.
1,
I'll give you that. Halo was cool.
2. Played Halo 2 online. Got
Halo was
really
good.
good at it.
Are you up to date on Halo?
No, I
Good.
haven't played Halo 5.
Don't.
Really?
Don't. Just
3
stop.
was the last
Did
one I ever played.
3 is the last, y'all. The only thing you need.
Well, I played 4.
Yikes. I bought 4 and it's still in the wrapper.
Really?
I've never played it.
How
No
would you even know
chance.
if it's bad then?
Yeah.
Because I just, no chance. They should have ended at 3. I was like, and then like Bungie didn't keep doing it. So I was like, I'm done.
Bitch.
Dude, you gotta quit while you're ahead, man, before things get ruined for yourself. Have faith, man. You gotta keep, no, hold on. There's a certain time to keep faith. Sometimes you just gotta hold on to
When?
what's due.
After BVS?
I didn't hold on to faith after that.
Yeah, you did.
No, I did not.
You sided with Caleb.
This is
What?
great, everybody.
After I watched
Just so you know.
BVS? When I watched BVS, I haven't even seen Aquaman or either Wonder Woman. I'm done. I haven't watched any of them.
You need to.
No, I'm okay. I don't have to.
That's the sad part because out of all of them, those are probably the better.
If it's on Netflix, and I've got time to kill, which I don't, I'll kick it on. But other than that, I'm done, dude.
Can you guys grab the tape so we can tape his
Maybe.
whatever, his eyelashes, his eyelids open?
So video games. What about movies? You're not into comic books.
Let's see, movies, mostly into anything. Let's see. It's funny because someone asked me like, "What's my favorite movie?" I'm like, I don't just have one. Obviously, you gotta have a top
Right.
3. I mean, Toy Story is always pretty cool.
Okay.
I like a lot of animated movies.
Nice.
So like
Pixar, Disney, all that stuff? Okay.
Yes, Incredibles.
Nice.
Finding Nemo.
Fantastic Four?
No,
I meant, Incredibles is Fantastic Four.
Yeah,
yeah,
kind of.
I get it.
I mean, yeah,
I get
pretty
it.
much.
So
They're family,
Right.
and they got
True.
powers.
And they got superpowers.
Stretching. Anyways.
where's my super suit?
Yeah. My God, you've gotten fat.
Etna mode. So that's pretty much everything, I guess you could say.
Okie dokie.
Wow.
Well, you kick it off. You finish it off, dude, because we got to get to these topics.
Damn, dude. So you're going to make me do a quick 2-minute intro and be done?
Yeah,
I just
go
think-
and go.
Oh, God. This is going to sound like a mumble rap. All right, so kicking it off.
What's your
Well, I
name?
had an older brother. Oh, my God. Had an older brother, so I got kicked off pretty early. I mean, we had an Atari. Because he's 8 years older than me, so he had the Atari. As everyone's got their parents' story, she sold it in a garage sale with all the games. So we no longer have the original Atari. It's gone forever.
Now I'm thinking about like Ready Player One.
Dude,
Yeah.
sold our regular Sega Genesis. It's also gone.
Oh my
I did
gosh.
finally buy another one like 15 years later.
okay.
So I still have it. Played Nintendo 64. That's where I all started. Was pretty much all Atari and all the Nintendo games. I didn't ever own the first PlayStation because of the time. We were all about the N64. Is kind of what happened. Yep. But we did get the PS2. I must have been 9 or 8. I don't remember exactly. But first game I ever played was what was it? Midnight Club or something? The freaking driving game?
Wow.
Midnight Club? Yeah, dude. That was the first game I ever played on PlayStation 2, dude. Need for Speed? No, Need for Speed wasn't out yet. Midnight Club was like the first one for the PS2.
Yeah.
Need for Speed Underground came a few years later.
It did.
But those were also great. At the time, I played all kinds of games. I went crazy. I mean, the first real game I remember was like, well, yeah, on the Atari we had like Pong and stuff, but the first game, yeah, I know, right? First game I really remember like sitting down and playing a lot was Rage for Sega Genesis.
Did you watch the movie?
Yeah.
Oh,
No.
I'm thinking Rampage.
No, that
Sorry.
was no Rampage. That's Rampage, which is also very fun.
Like,
No, I know, right?
forgot
Giant
about-
gorillas and dinosaurs just owning each other. No,
What dimension is this in, man?
We're gonna do crossovers next. So
but Rage was awesome. I still remember the first time I was ever playing that game and screaming to the TV, "Just die!" My mom was like, "Don't say that!" Like she was so appalled that I was screaming at this TV. Yeah, that's the
I
devil.
got more
working.
mad when I was like, "Die, you son of a bitch!"
And that's where like
deserved it.
and that's where like my love for fighting games kicked off.
Nice.
I played a lot of RPGs throughout my time being young because I had the time for it. Fable was one of my most favorites. I played all the Fables.
Really good.
The original was great. I love the Fable. They kind of progressively got worse, but they were all still good enough for me to enjoy. But Fable was a lot of fun. That was when that's when I actually had an Xbox. I bought an Xbox and a PlayStation because I was like, I got heaven right here in the PlayStation, and then let me see what purgatory's like. You know, is what I had to do. You know,
You got heaven in the right hand, and then you got purgatory in the
get out of here. You know,
I agree with Colton.
so I had the Xbox. I had the Xbox.
Purgatory's
you know
being
what?
nice.
I did really like the Xbox because you could put your own songs in there and play them over the games. That was always cool.
You can do that now.
Not enough to win
That's
me over
now,
though.
But no.
Well, now you can.
No, not on the Xbox. On
on
the
the PlayStation you can play your Spotify over your games.
Yeah.
So that's cool.
That's what I do. Is that with the music that you put on when you stream?
No, when I stream, I just go to I have a bunch of YouTube playlists that I just run through on my stream and play in the background.
Dude, I fall asleep to your music.
Thanks, dude.
That lo-fi.
Dude, everyone loves the lo-fi.
Yes.
Everyone comes on my stream and they're like, dude, fighting games and lo-fi? I'm here to stay. I'm like, thanks, dude. It's like the sickest
With
stream.
their bong and their munchie meal.
Nice.
Yeah, dude. You gotta get, the stream is entertaining.
Saturday night right there.
Dude, streaming's a lot of fun. I haven't streamed in the past couple months though, 'cause it's been so busy. But that's what I stream a lot now. But before getting to that part, after video games, anime and cartoons like you guys, Spider-Man, anime series is like the shit. Right. X-Men, Pokemon, waking up in the morning early on a weekend to watch Pokemon, dude, was awesome. Then from Pokemon, I got into once. Oh my gosh. Once I got in past Pokemon to other anime, started watching like Cowboy Bebop, Trigun, all that good stuff, the more serious stuff. Those were all. I still love those to this day. I make my girlfriend watch them. I've watched Cowboy at least 5 times.
Hey, what's the status on? Did you finish Megalobox?
No, but I started it.
Damn it, Colton.
Dude, I'm so busy. I have 3 jobs, bro. I'm the busiest man in the freaking planet. 3 jobs and a kid.
I got someone on the My Hero Academia bandwagon.
Nice.
It's hard, dude. It's hard for me because it's so far along and become such a fad in a way. Not dissing it. I'm sure it's good. It's hard for me to jump on once something gets to that level because I feel like I'm just not part of the crowd where everyone's like, dude, do you watch it? And I don't want to be that guy that goes like, yeah. Dude, do you watch it? Like, I just don't want to be that guy. It's weird. I don't know. Kind of like
pull the trigger and do it.
kind of like the Bird Box thing, the memes. Like everyone's like, dude, everyone's asking me if I've seen Bird Box. And it's like, good thing I watched it early because I didn't have to be that guy.
Hold
you know,
on, guys.
I still haven't seen it.
Hold on.
You're not missing anything.
it was
Yeah,
decent.
yeah, I'm
It was
missing
decent.
it.
It's
Oh,
just,
I actually listened to your guys'
it was okay. I mean, it wasn't
deduction
great.
of
But, I mean, it was interesting.
Yeah.
yeah, that's the best way to be like, yeah, it didn't suck, but it wasn't great. It was interesting.
I try to take something a little more than what I think people are taking from movies. I guess maybe to be different or just think I have my own opinion of it.
The
you see Quiet Place?
blindfold is the patriarchy.
No, I took.
Jason's probably like, yes, yes.
No, I walked away with like a lot of religious allegory behind it.
I can see that too.
What I
actually.
took from it, I took a lot of religious, like the.
Did you see A Quiet Place?
I did see A Quiet Place, which
I felt like Bird Box was wanting to be A Quiet Place.
Right, A Quiet Place was way better,
Yeah.
way better. But I mean, it's also was like the first of that style, so it's kind of hard to top
I don't think they
it.
should do any more styles. Like, just leave it at that.
Right,
Let
yeah.
Daredevil be blind. All right.
Right.
Daredevil be blind.
As this guy knows, we played a lot of competitive Pokemon TCG card game.
Nice.
The best I ever did was California States, but I don't want to talk about it anymore.
Hey.
Got pretty far in California States.
I got in the regional finals.
Oh, that's right. That's
Yeah.
right. You did do that.
Yeah, regional finals as a judge.
Wait, is this with cards?
No.
As a judge? Yes, the card game.
Shit.
Yeah, the card game. It was very intense, a lot of fun.
You guys ever play Magic?
I did play Magic, but I never competitively.
PD inside right now, the audio guy. He's like, wait, what? Magic?
Yeah.
I got my cards in my van.
Played a lot of Magic. Look, out where I live, man, there was no Pokemon, but there was a Yu-Gi-Oh scene. So I was like, well, I'm gonna buy.
Is that still alive?
It's big out there. I think
Let
it's
it die.
big. Well, look, I picked up a bunch of cards and started playing and found like the really competitive decks. And I was like, all right, let's do this. And the guys don't invite me anymore.
Because you started beating him?
I just started making really fucking OP decks.
Yeah.
And they're like, dude, we don't play like that. And I was like, well, how the hell do you play?
Like,
Yeah.
you're supposed to get fucked up so
Yeah.
you can get better.
I'm supposed to win you in turn one. Like, you know what I mean? That's what this is. So.
We play softcore. That's how we play.
Softcore. I
build
still
up.
remember. I remember in Pokemon the Speed Zekrom deck, and the one guy who was like, "Oh yeah, I just picked Pokemon back up," and we sat down for a match. It's like, "Oh okay, cool." I beat him by turn 2, and he's like, "Man, all this stupid quick evolution shit. I'm tired of it." I was like,
And first you're like, that's a basic. That's not an evolution.
Yeah, I was like, it's a basic Pokemon who could just hit you for 120 turn 2. Sorry, bud. Like, I don't know what to tell you, man. But after that, read some comics. Now I don't read comics anymore, mainly because of money. But
Was
also
that with Apache?
Huh?
Pachirisu?
Yeah, Pachirisu and Shaman.
Yeah.
Pachirisu and Shaman. And that was the deck I didn't have another Pachirisu, so I was only running one. And then the one game I lost was the fucking when he was prized. I didn't have him, so I was playing like normal. And I was like, this is stupid. I don't want to play normal. I want to beat you already. So that sucked. But yeah, I read a lot of comics. Favorite heroes, real quick, off the top of my head, I guess, are mainly from Marvel. I really love Richard Rider's Nova. Richard Rider Nova is like just the shit. I mean, he's the coolest guy you'll ever read about. If you go back and you want to, if you haven't read it, go back and read the run of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1 and 2 of Abnett and Lanning, going all the way to Thanos Imperative. The three, like, one of the best books I've ever read, alongside Annihilation and Annihilation Conquest, are both like the most incredible books I've read from Marvel. I love them all. I have all of them except for Conquest. I don't own Conquest. I should buy it. It's only like $60, so it's not that bad. And then Caleb just recently, he hasn't given it to me yet, but he bought me the entire Abnett and Lanning Nova collection, all 30 issues of just Richard Rider Nova, which were hard to find. He got me the whole.
Friend, shit.
We've been friends since like 11 years old, so we're really close. Actually, he's the guy who I go to for all my Marvel stuff. I mean, this dude.
He's been on the show. We call him Shaw.
He's been on the show. He's Shoff. Yeah, he's a great guy. Love him to death. He's got me through all my Marvel stuff. We played Marvel vs. Capcom 2 together.
Nice.
All night long, unlocking all the characters. That was like the funnest time of my life. Just like, we'd watch the start screen multiple times to look at the silhouettes to see like, oh, dude, who the fuck is that? We gotta get this guy, you know?
Is it Batman?
Right. I mean, not Batman, but right.
I love that voice. That's great.
Is that Batman? Is that Batman? Is that Batman,
No,
guys?
That's like the one blasphemous thing when you're like, Marvel, right? Batman's in there, right?
Batman's here,
You
dude.
start naming DC characters, it's like,
And then nowadays, as these guys, I love movies. I'm not as crazy about movies, I guess, in depth. I don't, know a lot about like in-depth industry, but I do like
You
watching.
just said that Bird Box had religious allegories.
Right, but I don't know like cameras.
I'm not that in depth, but it had some
what I
religious
mean was,
allegories.
look, buddy.
Like, you like to enjoy them as a viewer, not necessarily
As a guy who made them.
Yeah.
Right, I'm not behind the screen like, oh, that camera guy should have done a better job, or, like, I can touch on cinematography and things like that, but I'm not going to pretend to know, like, a lot about in-depth behind the studio shit. I just like to look at the story for what it is, the development, the pacing, normal things a viewer could look at without just blowing your money on Transformer films. So,
oh boy, that's a whole.
yeah.
Pandora's box. Don't touch.
Don't open it up.
Don't open it.
But nowadays, for as far as video games, I pretty much exclusively play fighting games. I go to tournaments. I go to Evolution every year, which is like the most prestigious tournament in Vegas you could go to. They have one in Japan too. I'd love to go there, but that's expensive. I go every year. Met a lot of top players. Get to talk to them. I stream a lot, so I play a lot of Dragon Ball Fighters, Street Fighter, Smash Ultimate at the moment.
On Twitch or?
I stream on Twitch, right? Yeah.
The Opinioneers.
I made the Opinioneers, and I made not partner, but I'm an affiliate with Twitch, trying to make partner. But I'm not gonna do that if I don't fucking stream. I haven't streamed like 2 months, so I gotta get back on it.
Tell them it's the holiday season.
That's what we do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, guys, we took a break. It was the holidays.
Right,
Yeah,
pretty
right.
much.
We just didn't want to do it.
Yeah, it was a holiday season. It was my own holiday for a long time there. It's just I work a lot, but no, I play all those games really competitively. Man, I feel like there's more, but I am just trying to skim through it because I feel like I've taken up a lot of time.
Brain fart?
Did I miss anything in general about myself?
No, I think you covered it.
I think I covered the most of all my major interests.
Yeah.
I didn't go through like all my favorite heroes because that would take too much time.
Yeah.
But I guess Nova's the one.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Okay.
man, that's it.
Well, thank you all. If you're listening on the Just Talk podcast, we are the Opinioneers, Jason, Danny, and Colton. And yeah, you can find us on Spotify. You can find us on iTunes, and you can also find us on Buzzsprout. We are officially a part of the Little Fella Media Podcast Network and sponsored by Buzzsprout. So, yeah. And then on our show, the Opinioneers, you guys are the...
Just Talk Podcast.
Where can we find you at?
You guys can find us on iTunes, Buzzsprouts, Castbox, and Spotify too, right?
Yep.
And then we just recently started our YouTube channel,
YouTube.
but there's
Oh, nice.
really nothing there. I mean, there's like 3 videos.
5
so
followers.
that's just.
5 followers.
I was like, wait, what?
Subscribers.
Subscribers, right. Yeah,
Yeah.
the subscribers.
Sorry.
But we're mainly on the podcast. You know, just follow us on Instagram at the Just Talk Podcast, and there's a link there that can link you all to our other
Nice.
platforms and stuff.
Coolissimo.
Right
Well,
on.
thanks guys for having us, and hopefully
Thank
you
you.
guys stay tuned for our crossovers still going forward. We're going to be talking about crossovers since this is one.
Yeah.
Tommy, how about you let everyone know real quick what our next topic when it comes to crossovers? It was your idea. Or
Actually, it was Rich.
it was Rich's
Rich.
idea. Go ahead,
Yeah,
Rich.
I texted it out, so but it was
Well,
Rich.
I when Tommy was telling me that we're about to do a crossover podcast with you guys with the opinioneering, I was like, what can we talk about that Mike is not excluded? Because when I know, again, we all have our comic book background. and all
Wait a
that stuff,
second.
and as we
Enough.
just found out,
Right.
Mike doesn't read comics. Or he didn't read comics when he was younger. I was like, well, he watched a lot of TV shows. And I was like, since we're talking about, or as a topic too, where Marvel Netflix shows are leaving Netflix, I was
Yeah.
like, let's do something of a crossover with TV.
Right.
That's interesting.
From-
No, I like the idea when Danny showed me. I was like, this is get the mind rolling, man. I got a couple of them lined
and then
up.
I was
was
just like, have fun with it.
yeah,
And
and I was like,
whenever you
only
want.
2 though.
Yeah, well,
know.
Right.
It's a crossover. You got to cross over 2 shows, right?
shows.
And so that's the topic is that you can cross over any 2 shows you want from back then to now. And like an example I gave was like, MacGyver and fucking Nightwing.
Yeah.
Right? Or Dawson's Creek and freaking One Tree Hill or whatever it is. Or any animated show, which they did some Family Guy. and
What's
Simpsons
the
there.
most woke show right now?
Woke show.
What, yeah,
Wow.
define woke.
Woke. What's a good definition of woke?
For
Jay?
idiots like me, you know?
Like
Woke-
the shit, like
It's like
popular.
the
No,
pop-
that's what I thought it was.
Is that woke? Woke's
No,
not that?
woke nowadays is you are more in tune to.
Someone pull up Urban Dictionary.
Yeah,
I
Urban
gotta
Dictionary.
look like
That.
You spell that what? W.
Okay,
I think woke is
Woke
supposed
is
to
like
be the
you're-
most real. Like I think it's supposed to be the most real. Like
No, you're more in tune to the social climate. So like you're all about not against cultural appropriation,
Right.
the patriarchy, matriarchy. Like you're a social justice warrior. Like,
right,
Is
which I
this
think
like
is where it
in
comes. Like you're
YouTube?
real about it. You're just like this is the spit truth. Like
Yeah,
we're woke
Is
about
this
it.
across all platforms or like a mainstream like network?
Okay.
No, this is like
Okay,
culturally
we're
woke.
we got an
Urban
official-
Dictionary.
Yeah, Urban Dictionary, woke. The act of, wow, I'm surprised I'm even reading this correctly. The act of being very pretentious about how much you care about a social issue.
There you go.
That's
Yeah.
basically all
So
it
you
says.
just
So
being
I
real
want to
about
find
it.
the most woke show and put Johnny Bravo in it.
Whoa!
Hey,
I
mama.
would so watch the shit out of that.
If you realize if Johnny Bravo was like live today, dude, how much shit it'd get?
You know what I would say for me? The one that pops in my head is 13 Reasons Why.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
And I'm not a fan of that show.
that was more about like suicide, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
it's,
my girlfriend
it's
watched it.
something that leaves like a bitter taste where you're just like, ah.
I've seen
I've never
little
seen it.
bits and pieces of like every show
Don't watch,
ever.
don't watch.
No, listen. I've seen bits and pieces, not the whole show, bits and pieces of every show ever because my girlfriend is never not watching Netflix. I swear she watches every show. She's like, hey, you want to watch something together? I'm like, sure. I'm scrolling through like, let's watch this. She's like, seen it. I'm like, okay, well, what about that? Well, I've seen that too. Oh, I just finished that last night. I'm like, when do you have time to watch these? I look at you sitting here. Like, what the fuck?
Is she on her phone? What's she doing?
No,
Like,
she gets her laptop, just watches everything. It's crazy. That's
That's
why
like
I watch
my
Manic.
girlfriend. She does the same
She
thing.
started Manic episode 1, and I was like, I want to watch that with you. She's like, oh yeah, really? 2 days later, she's like, oh, I finished it. And I was like, well, I guess I'll watch it
Boy,
by myself.
That's
Shit.
like this motherfucker
wonder
right
who
here.
that sounds
dude.
like.
How long did it take you to finish Game of Thrones?
Like 2.5 weeks.
I've never
7.
finished it, so I don't blame you.
Yeah, I never did either.
Don't worry about it. It's good.
Episode or season 3 as far as I got, but I own them all almost. I just keep buying them because there's like a really
Dude, I
discount
keep
video
forgetting
store.
for you to bring me back my comic books.
That'll never happen.
That's
I don't live
true.
here anymore.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, so stay tuned, and that's going to be our next episode. We're going to talk
All
about
right.
crossovers and stuff like so. Yeah.